I mean, yes, I had hopes and dreams and aspirations. I've been such a huge fan of Guy's work for so long. And then I think it sort of lived up to it and more. He's a really wonderful director. He's got a wicked sense of humor. He gives you a lot of artistic license at the same time. He has a unique vision as a filmmaker, and that's why he has such a strong following. But I think he knows what he wants to make, so he provides a really great framework, and the script was such a strong script, and the dialogue was such strong writing that we knew we had a really great framework to work in. But then he sort of gives you a lot of freedom to do what you want to do as an actor.
I found that thing about expectations, because I remember, I'm a big fan of his film and his previous work, and I remember the first time I met him in person, and I was like, oh my God, he has the same personality as, that he brings to the screen, and that is the wit and the humor, the sense of ease, and that and the very, dark sense of, humor especially is what defines his work. And I was so happy to see that and know that I was going to be a part of making one of those films.
There's such a difference between, though, when you think of like Snatch and Lock, Stock to something like Sherlock, though, like I think the first Guy Ritchie film I ever saw was Snatch, and there's such a grit to that film. Like, it's just so bleak and dark but funny, and the characters are so violent. It's such a visceral film. And then Sherlock has is very different. It's much sort of like Guy but like Technicolor, and it's got that fantasy element of it, and so I really didn't know what to expect. I think that's what drew us really to the project. It's funny because sitting in these interviews, it's kind of the first thing people ask us about. And what's funny, I suppose, and maybe it says something about us, is we didn't see that as an anomaly. But I suppose in the genre of spy films, it is kind of rare. Like, women they often are the girl, or they're kind of the beauty, or they're the sidekick. And it's also rare to see female villains.
Yeah, we've gone back and watched old cinema films, and there's a lot of female strong characters, and there's proof of society changes, but not really people or women. And to be able to bring that into this genre where it apparently seemed like it was missing, especially with all the excitement and questions you get from other people about it, it was a wonderful thing. I think big respect to Guy Ritchie and Lionel for
creating them. Yeah.
Well, they are very feisty, strong women. Gaby is very ambiguous. You never really know what side she's on, and that kind of makes both of those female characters so interesting, because we got to play with all those kind of different secrets that they were keeping, or different, whatever, different intentions they had. Even though yours were probably even more strong than mine.
Slightly more one-tracked.
World domination.
Yeah, I think. But I think they both have a great sort of grey area. They both have really great sort of complex emotional journeys. And they both I think they're both quite enterprising, though, which is great, which is really sort of great to watch them. They both know what they want, and they're sort of chameleons. They adapt to whatever situation is called for. And they're also sort of self-made. You get a sense that they know who they are in the world, and they take up space, and they know what they want to get out of people, and that, I suppose that's where that sort of moral ambiguity comes from. Ninja fighting? No, I didn't learn.
Well, you did.
Yeah,
we took driver's lessons.
We did. We learned how to drive. We learned how to drive.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, which is a big step for us as humans.
Yeah. And then we learned a lot about good food and wine when we were in Italy.
Yes, we learned how to read an Italian wine list and how to drive a car.
Well, I got a lot of the inspiration from our wonderful costume designer, Joanna, who came so well prepared when we came in with amazing mood boards that kind of used the entire spectrum of the 60s fashion and created very different, especially our female characters, they are very different and it comes out in the style. And then she was very collaborative. You were able to kind of bring, it was a lot of costume made things, and I came with little photographs of my mum of like old styles that she had when she grew up in the 60s that she invited me to bring to the table, which was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we Joan and I sort of flipped through a lot of 60s Vogues, and I think
So stylish
and really like just quite groundbreaking. I mean, some of the things you see in photo shoots from Vogue back then were, and even especially sort of Italian Vogue, and you can't believe that it's a shoot from like 1967 or something, because it's so modern. But we definitely drew lots of inspiration from people like Ursula Andress, Sophia Loren, Catherine Deneuve. There's a sort of sleekness to their silhouettes, and like sort of But I think playing the villain and creating that silhouette, you sort of go big or go home.